Right now on Denver 7 News, Colorado leaders refuse to wait around for federal gun control.
The urgency couldn't be greater for measures like this.
The changes that could come to 4 different Colorado cities. Is yours on the list? Plus, investigators now know what started one of Colorado's largest wildfires ever. How it's tied to some things you might have done before. The Avs are already up by 3 in the Western Conference Finals, and we're hoping to get another win today.
A lot doesn't change when we go on the road or at home.
Good morning. We are cheering for our Avs today here on Denver 7 News. I'm Jessica Crawford.
And I'm Katie LaSalle. Thank you so much for joining us. But we want to start with some of the stories we're following for you this weekend, including breaking news from overnight. Denver police say they are investigating an officer-involved shooting. They haven't provided many details yet, only that it occurred at 15th and Larimer around 3 a.m. They said no injuries have been reported.
History Colorado's first LGBTQ plus themed exhibit opens today, and it's in honor of the start of Pride Month. Rainbows and Revolutions uses personal stories and artifacts to show visitors the struggles and the victories of LGBTQ plus Coloradans. Governor Jared Polis, who was the first openly gay man elected governor of any state, will attend the grand opening event tonight.
And go Avs go! They are in Edmonton this morning and will take on the Oilers in Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. Now, right now, they're up in the series 2-0, and the puck will drop at 6 o'clock. Let's take you live outside at 6:58 on this Saturday morning. It is a really beautiful start to our morning. Sun is shining, skies are mostly clear. We are in for a very nice day all across the state, with 60s and 70s returning to the mountains for highs and 80s here across the plains. A very quiet weather pattern settles in to start this weekend. A live look from Westminster, where you can see mostly clear skies with temperatures outside in and around Metro Denver in the 50s currently. Winds are sustained from the southwest at 11 miles per hour. We will see some gustier conditions form over higher terrain, but very dry conditions across the state expected. Temperatures outside currently, we're now in the low 40s over Estes Park and Dillon, so nice cool but not as cold morning into the mountains. 50s and even some low 60s moving into the eastern plains and out west in Grand Junction. Your fresh air forecast for today: by noon, 80 degrees. Partly cloudy skies through the second half of this afternoon, and we do have the slight chance of picking up an isolated storm or shower, but mainly over the far northeastern plains, and I'll show you that on future casts coming up. In the meantime today, 83 degrees in Boulder, same into downtown Denver and out to the airport. Upper 60s in Frisco, up through Walden and Estes Park. We'll talk more about the next chance for seeing storm activity arrive, still to come.
And this morning, new information about the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Sources say the Uvalde School District Police Chief did not have a police radio on him during that shooting. Florida State Senator Roland Gutierrez says Chief Pete Arredondo was not in communication with anyone while responding. Arredondo's facing serious criticism for making the call to not send officers sooner into those adjoining classrooms where that gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers. It's still unclear if officers knew about the 911 calls being made by students who were inside of those rooms. And after a violent last 2 weeks, Coloradans gathered to honor the victims of mass shootings and to call for stricter gun control laws. The marchers on Friday all wore orange, symbolizing that color that hunters wear to protect themselves and others from gunfire. They met near the Columbine Memorial. Congressman Jason Crow attended and called for a ban on assault weapons nationwide. Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser spoke about the importance of protecting gun control laws passed here in the state.
A bipartisan group of U.S. senators are negotiating a potential agreement on gun control and safety measures. In a rare evening address to the nation on Thursday, President Biden demanded that lawmakers act, putting forth several proposals.
We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And if we can't ban assault weapons, then we should raise the age to purchase them from 18 to 21. Strengthen background checks. Enact safe storage law and red flag laws. Repeal the immunity that protects gun manufacturers from liability. Address the mental health crisis, deepening the trauma of gun violence and as a consequence of that violence.
The House next week could vote on a package of bills named the Protecting Our Kids Act, included as a measure to raise the age to purchase a semi-automatic rifle to 21. And while there is discussion to push for tougher gun laws at the federal level, some Colorado cities are not waiting for Congress to act. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live now. And Christian, 4 cities plan to consider gun ordinances next week.
They are, and all cities are in Boulder County, and Boulder County has been through a mass shooting before, so now they're looking at making changes to their gun laws. The 4 cities that are looking into these changes are Boulder, Louisville, Superior, and Lafayette, and they're looking at possibly banning the sale and possession of assault weapons and magazines that contain more than 10 bullets, raising the age to buy a gun to 21, outlawing open and concealed carry in sensitive places like hospitals, schools, and places of worship, establishing a 10-day waiting period to purchase a rifle or a gun. Tim Howard is a member of the Superior Board of Trustees, and he believes that if this is passed, these ordinances can serve as a wake-up call for lawmakers.
My hope is that with municipalities adopting these type measures, that the state legislature will take forward a number of these for potential statewide adoption, and as or more importantly, that Governor Polis will look and recognize this is what the people of Colorado want.
City Council members in these communities will be discussing these proposals on Tuesday, and of course, we will let you know what comes out of it. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Christian, thank you. Officials are working to put out the latest wildfire that sparked in southwest Colorado. The Bear Dance Fire is burning on the Southern Ute Reservation. At last update, the fire is about 89 acres in size. Investigators have now determined the destructive East Troublesome Fire in Grand County was caused by a human. The wildfire, one of Colorado's largest ever, ignited in October of 2020. Over a nearly 2-month period, the fire scorched almost 200,000 acres and damaged or destroyed more than 500 homes and buildings. The U.S. Forest Service says given the location and the time of year that this fire started, it may have been ignited by a hunter, a backcountry camper, or by accident. Investigators are still trying to identify who started the fire and why.
Aurora City Council member Danielle Jurinski is preparing to sue Arapahoe County after she was falsely accused of abusing her child. Last month, Robin Nicita, a former Arapahoe County social worker and the partner of former Aurora Police Chief Vanessa Wilson, was charged with retaliation against an elected official. Investigators say that Nicita falsely reported Jurinski for child abuse one day after Jurinski criticized Wilson in a radio interview. While Jurinski was cleared of any wrongdoing, Nicita resigned as a social worker before her arrest. In a notice of claim, Jurinski's attorney alleges that Arapahoe County failed to train, supervise, or discipline Nicita or her supervisors. Jurinski is seeking at least $1 million in damages.
Colorado's primary is approaching fast, and Republicans are trying to drum up support at their annual Western Conservative Summit in Aurora that's happening this weekend. Denver 7 political reporter Megan Lopez was at the event Friday, which gave Senate candidates a chance to make their cases about who will take on Senator Michael Bennet.
At the Western Conservative Summit Friday, a who's who of Colorado Republican voices, a chance for candidates to make one last sales pitch to voters before primary ballots begin to go out. This midterm election, once again, there's a lot at stake, from inflation to abortion access to the gun debate.
If Colorado's Senate election is a referendum on Joe Biden's America, we will win.
But before the general election, a referendum within the Republican Party that's highlighted in 2 candidates running for U.S. Senate. On one end, Representative Ron Hanks.
We are at a crossroads.
A candidate who spent much of the run-up to the midterms talking about election integrity and questioning the 2020 results. Something.
Is the country on the right track? No. No, Biden has been a disaster.
He didn't address at all at the summit, instead focusing his talking points on border security, banning abortions, and dismantling the Department of Education.
Are we the party of life and liberty? I believe we are.
On the other end of the spectrum, Joe O'Dea, a more moderate candidate who doesn't believe the election was stolen.
I may be an outsider, but I'm a conservative at the core.
He focused on national issues like inflation and the role of government during his speech. But on the gun debate, he repeated something Republicans like Lauren Boebert have said repeatedly.
We have hundreds of laws on the books about guns, but you can't legislate against evil.
Conservatives who attended tell Denver 7 they're focused on major national issues.
Energy independence.
National security, I think, is one of the main concerns.
Freedom for parental rights.
But they also admit election integrity will inevitably play a role in the primary, as will overall electability of candidates in the general election.
Can't keep complaining. We have to be more active. We have to participate.
It comes down to the same. It's like, who is going to be standing on the principles that protect my freedom?
There is an ideology in their minds that they don't want to have rhino initiatives.
So the midterms could be a referendum on the president, but the primary will define the direction of the Colorado Republican Party. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
As a reminder, Colorado's primary is June 28th, and starting next week, Colorado clerks will start mailing out those primary ballots. Along with it, you'll likely get a text from a service called Ballot Tracks. It allows you to sign up to receive text alerts at each stage of the voting process. That way you can track your ballot all the way to it being verified.
Well, it is the weekend, and that means it's time for our Denver 7 Things to Do. Well, the largest used book sale in Colorado is happening this weekend at the Jeffco Fairgrounds. The Whale of a Used Book Sale runs through Sunday, and you can browse thousands of books, DVDs, and CDs. Tickets cost between $5 and $10. It is also the final Elephant Rock ride on Sunday. This ride has raised more than $1 million for local charities since 1987. There are 3 courses this year. It starts tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. You can register in person. And the 5 Points Jazz Festival returns in person this weekend. A parade starts at noon today to kick off the festival. Now, this festival has 50 bands playing live music on several stages all over Welton Street.
Well, the party across the pond rages on this morning. However, Queen Elizabeth is having to miss out on many of those activities.
Plus, spreading germs has been a major concern during the pandemic, but that's not stopping one restaurant for letting customers lick the walls? Yeah, we'll explain coming up.